Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the KARIN S95. I got the Arbiter GT customization and review out on the channel now as well, so make sure to go check that out, as well as what vehicles to buy and what vehicles to avoid this week in GTA Online. But anyways, we're going to be customizing the KARIN S95 today on PC with HSW for the first time ever, so I'm very excited about this. Fair warning, when I did buy this car, I was supposed to get it for free on Southern, because I was supposed to get a free KARIN S95, so I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting charged full price for it, which was really awesome of Rockstar to do, and I know many other people did get that as well, so that's just lovely that they were able to do that for us. But anyways, we're going to be customizing this thing today. I do believe that it has HSW applied to it, as you can see by the sticker there on the back, so I think HSW is already on this car. So anyways, we're going to take it into the car meet here, and we're going to go ahead and start customizing. Alright guys, so here we are inside of the LS car meet. We're going to go ahead and start off with the armor. We're going to go all the way up on oh, it has HSW brakes. It came with them. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, we got some front bumper options here, which is pretty nice. I'm kind of a fan of the street bumper with canards. I think that I don't know, I kind of like the stock front bumper too, though, at the same time. But I think I will go for the street bumper with canards. I kind of like that it removes the plate and everything like that. As far as the rear bumper goes, I think I'm going to go for the carbon race bumper. I kind of like the look of that. It's kind of, except I don't really like the fins on it, though, is the only thing. I might honestly leave it stock, to be honest. I kind of like it stock better. It has the HSW engine tune on it already, which is interesting. I didn't put that on, so I'm kind of confused about that. But anyways, we got the carbon fenders. We also have the aero fenders, which are pretty cool. We have this in secondary carbon as well. Kind of a fan of the carbon there. I kind of like the look of that. At the same time, though, I'm not 100% sure if I actually want to go for it or not. I kind of like it, though. I think I'm going to go for the aero fenders. I think, why not? For the hood, we got secondary, we got carbon, we got the racer hood, we got the rally hood, we got the sports hood, we got the vented hood. All of them are kind of okay looking. I think I like the rally hood the best, though, so I'm going to go for that option for today. For the lights, I'm going to go for white lights, and for the neon kit, I will put it on just to lower the center of gravity and help with the handling ever so slightly. For the respray, quickly, I'm just going to make it into a silver car, and I'll do the secondary in silver as well, so that we can see the livery options a little bit better. So we got the black stripes, we got the mine mocked black, mine mocked white, we got the Stance Andreas livery, we get the red stripes livery, the atomic livery, racer 86, 95, 99, princess robot bubblegum, HSW Racing, and the HSW Elite livery, which is what actually came with the car today when I first received it. So that is kind of cool. As far as the livery goes, I'm kind of not really feeling any of them, to be honest. If I was going to do one, it would probably be the black stripes, but I'm not really feeling it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it alone. Sun strips, we could add one. I'm not a fan of sun strips, though, so I'm going to avoid it. For the plate, I will go yellow on black. For the louvers, we can do a little roof spoiler there, which is kind of interesting. We also have the painted roof spoiler. Got the arc louvers, the primary arc louvers, secondary or carbon as well. Not really a fan of the louvers, so I'm going to leave those off of the car. No roof spoiler or anything like that. As far as the color goes on this thing, I am tempted to look at the chameleon paints at least, just to see how they look, but I don't think I'm actually going to go for one because I just don't think that they look all that great. So for the color on this thing today, kind of wondering about maybe an orange, some sort of an orange, like a sunrise orange. I feel like that could look really, really nice. So let's go ahead and throw that on for both the primary and secondary. And then I think I'm going to do a gold pearlescent on here because I think that that's going to look really nice. So we'll go ahead and put the gold pearl on there. Looking pretty good, I feel like. For the side louvers, we could put some on, except I don't really like how they look, so I'm going to leave them off the car. We do have some skirts we can add. We could add the aero skirts, the racer skirts. We also have the carbon racer skirts, which are kind of interesting looking. I might put those on. Drift skirts or the bolted drift skirts. I'm going to go ahead and put the drift skirts on. I kind of like the look of that, so let's go ahead and throw that on. We got the lip spoiler here that we can do. We got the carbon lip spoiler. We have the extended lip spoiler. I also have that in carbon. We have the GT spoiler, the carbon GT spoiler. We got the racer spoiler, the sprint spoiler, the raised racer spoiler, the rally spoiler, crazy looking. We also have the HSW street wing or the HSW race wing, which is also what came with the car by default. Not a big fan of those. I think if I'm going to go for anything, it's going to be like either the lip spoiler or maybe the GT spoiler. I don't think I've ever used the GT spoiler, so I'm going to go for that one today. It has HSW suspension on it, interestingly enough, and the HSW transmission, and the Stage 3 turbo already. Okay, so this thing's like fully kitted out. That's crazy. For the wheels, could maybe go for the street category and maybe go for something in here, but I do kind of like the stock wheels that are on this car by default, to be honest. I am kind of a big fan of them. I'm very close to just actually leaving them alone, but I kind of wouldn't mind going for some endos at the same time. I feel like endos would look kind of good on this car, or S racers honestly look pretty good too. I think I'm going to go endo V1s on here. I think those are going to look really nice, and I think I'm going to do them in a black steel. I kind of like the look of that. We'll do, okay, bulletproof tires are already on the car as well, interesting, and we'll do a dark smoke for the window tint, and that should be it. Let's go ahead and take this thing outside. We're going to do a sound test and of course a full review on the car as well. So we'll see how it's feeling out here and see how it's looking and everything like that. Hopefully it's daytime by now. It's not quite daytime by now. It's not going to be daytime for another few minutes. That's really unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess. So let's take a listen to this thing. So it doesn't sound amazing. It doesn't sound terrible either. It's just nothing really too special, I don't really think. That's okay. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to sound, you know, incredible or anything like that. Now the KARIN S95 is one of the higher top speed HSW cars in the game. I want to say it's like maybe 5th or 6th at this point. I think the top speed on this thing is just over 150 miles per hour. I think it's like 153 if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty darn good, and it's pretty quick, and the thing actually puts the power down quite well. Despite the really skinny rear tires and everything and the extreme amount of power that the car has, it actually feels pretty good when you're driving it. It actually has pretty good handling as well, and it's quite responsive, and it's also very light feeling, which is good. Obviously you saw there I was accelerating a little bit hard going around that corner, and I did kind of lose it there a little bit. So that is something you're going to have to watch out with the KARIN S95, and I think that it just doesn't really have enough grip in the rear end for the power that it has. I think that maybe it, I don't know, well, it could definitely use wider rear tires. I think that that would help if that sort of stuff mattered in GTA, but I think that, I don't know, generally it's a pretty good car. Generally it's quite responsive, and most of the time I would say it's not going to spin out on you like that, but occasionally it is going to do that. So that is something to watch out for with the S95. Now I'm hoping that by the time you guys have seen this video and everything, Rockstar's remedied it and actually made it so you can get this car for free, like you should have been able to, instead of paying like $2 million like I did, which was very frustrating. So hopefully that's fixed by the time you guys are actually seeing this video. Obviously this video is coming out like the next day after the update happened, so I'm hoping by then it's fixed. But apparently you can write a support ticket to Rockstar for that loss of like 2 mil, but I'm not going to bother to because I just don't really care that much. But you guys could do that if that did affect you. Now I am starting to notice with the S95 here, under power, it is spinning out a little bit more than I would like it to. Obviously I wouldn't like it to spin out at all, but it's almost an unmanageable amount of oversteer occasionally. Sometimes it's really good, but if you like double clutch it, as they refer to it as in GTA, I know it's not actually double clutching for the nerds that are about to tell me that's not a thing in GTA, but if you handbrake when you're going from second to third gear or whatever, and you get a lot of extra power, if you do that, the car will become really, really hard to control for a while until it upshifts. So that is something to be aware of for sure, and it will cause some pretty snappy oversteer for the vehicle. But I would say generally through the corners it is pretty manageable and pretty good. As long as you hit the brakes, I feel like this thing is pretty controllable. It does tend to oversteer, which is good. I'd rather it oversteer than understeer, but it does tend to oversteer a little much occasionally. So that is something to just be aware of and kind of watch out for when you are driving a KARIN S95, or if you are thinking of purchasing one. It is something to be aware of, but I would say generally this thing is quite good, and I am overly impressed with it. I would say it is a pretty good car, and especially if you can get it for free, for, you know, transferring to the enhanced version of GTA on the PC platform or even on the consoles as well. I think it is a good car. I think it's definitely worth having, worth customizing and everything like that, especially for free. Would I pay $2 million for it? I don't think so, even though obviously I did. But would I do it again? I don't really think so. I think that there's much better HSW cars that you could get for, you know, this rough amount of money, like the Banshee GTS, for example. It has much better handling, a much higher top speed with HSW, significantly more customization. I think it's a better looking vehicle and everything like that. So if you actually are planning to purchase this thing, I would think twice about it. I would consider an Ubermacht Niobe before this thing. I would consider a Banshee GTS before this thing. I would consider spending a little bit more money and getting the overflawed Entity MT before spending $2 million on this thing. I think there's generally a lot of vehicles that are kind of better than the KARIN S95, but if you can get it for free, it is worth it, that is for sure, and I would definitely say to do it. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for the KARIN S95 customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, and consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.